Should your company build its own custom software or just buy something off the shelf? For decades, that was a pretty simple question for the IT department. But today, that way of thinking is frankly obsolete. So let's dive into why this choice has become one of the most critical strategic decisions your business can possibly make. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We're not talking about saving a few bucks on a software license anymore. We are talking about defining your company's future, its ability to move fast, and its power to actually innovate. Well, it's that exact moment where you have to decide, is technology just another cost on a spreadsheet, something to be managed? Or is it a weapon, something to be engineered to help you win? Because the answer to that question, it changes absolutely everything. So you might be wondering, how did this conversation jump from the server room straight to the boardroom? Well, the data shows a huge shift in thinking right from the very top. I mean, the scale of this change is just staggering. A recent survey found that a full 75% of IT decision-makers now believe that building custom, tailored software leads to better business outcomes. The whole debate has officially moved from saving costs to creating real, tangible value. And if you want to see the proof, just follow the money. The custom software market is on track to more than triple in just 6 years. We're talking about a jump from around $43 billion to over $146 billion. This isn't just some little trend, it's a massive strategic pivot happening all over the world. So what's behind it? And that brings us to the core problem that's forcing everyone's hand, the danger of getting trapped in what some people are calling the sea of sameness. Seriously, think about it. When everyone in your industry uses the exact same popular CRM or the same big ERP system, what happens? You all get stuck in the same workflows. You're all hitting the same limitations. And you can only innovate as fast as your software vendor lets you. That's operational homogeneity. And it's a quiet but incredibly powerful threat to standing out from the crowd. The difference is pretty stark when you lay it out like this. The buy path, a lot of the time, just leads to generic workflows. You end up operating just like your competitors. But the build path, well, that lets you bake your company's secret sauce, your unique way of doing things, right into a proprietary advantage that nobody else can just go out and buy. Okay, so how do you even begin to navigate this choice? It feels pretty complex, right? Well, there's a structured framework that's designed to cut through all that noise. It's called the 6-factor decision matrix. Here are the 6 key areas you've got to look at. First up, TCO and ROI. That's the whole financial picture. Second, strategic impact. Is this software actually going to give you a competitive edge? Third is speed and agility. How fast can you get value and make changes? Fourth, integration. How well does it play with everything else you're already using? Fifth is control. Are you owning your own roadmap or are you just renting someone else's? And finally, you've got risk and compliance, which covers everything from security to regulations. Let's just dip into that first factor to see how this works. So, factor 1, total cost of ownership. Building has a big upfront capital expense for sure, but your ongoing costs are way more predictable. Buying looks cheaper to start, but those endless subscription fees, which can jump up with no warning, they create a really high long-term operating expense. It's the classic debate. Do you want to own the asset or rent it forever? And speaking of costs, you want to hear something crazy? Studies show that customers ignore up to 85 to 90% of the features in off-the-shelf software. That is a massive amount of wasted money, paying for bloated software that doesn't even fit what you actually need to do. And this all leads us to the heart of factor 2, strategic impact. And honestly, it's the core of this entire decision. You just have to ask this one question. Is this software for a task that everyone does, like say payroll? Or is it for the process that makes you better than everybody else? Your answer to that question should drive your whole strategy. But what if the answer isn't a simple yes or no? I mean, it's not always black and white, is it? And that's where the most sophisticated strategy comes into play, a hybrid approach, or a blend, that goes way beyond that binary choice. The idea here is actually really simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You use mature, off-the-shelf solutions for all those commodity functions, the basic table stakes of doing business. But then you focus your precious, expensive development resources on building custom software for the unique processes that actually win you customers and build your competitive moat. And this table just lays it all out perfectly. Just look at that blend column. It optimizes your costs, gets you value faster, and it focuses your strategic control exactly where it matters most. It also lowers the biggest risks from the other two approaches. It really is the best of both worlds. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. The goal here isn't just to go out and buy a tool. It's to be the architect of your company's future, to consciously design your own tech advantage. So let's just recap the big takeaways. First, this decision belongs in the boardroom, not just with the IT team. Second, always be aware of that sea of sameness. It's the biggest danger of just defaulting to whatever's popular. Third, use that six-factor matrix to give you a clear, structured path. And finally, remember that the blend strategy is often the smartest, most powerful way to build a real tech advantage. At the end of the day, it all boils down to this one critical question. You need to take a hard look at your technology stack and ask, is it a defensible moat that protects and grows your business? Or is it just making you more like everybody else out there in the sea? The answer will define your competitive edge for years to come.